One of the things, and we kind of alluded to this a little bit earlier, you've been vocal about women's health protections. What do you see as the biggest challenges and opportunities in that area, I should say?
I think the opportunities, I'll try to start with the positive, is that I've never seen women more united, even of uh, that may have leaned more conservative, but seeing the dramatic and harsh consequences of the pullback since Roe v. Wade, I think have united women that never planned to have children, having children, et cetera.
Yeah.
Because abortion is healthcare and it's not just about children. And so that is the opportunity. And as long as we keep working locally, pass as many things as we can, because we always want everything to come from Washington, but a lot of things need to start from the
Yeah.
ground up. So I encourage
Mhm.
women everywhere, see whatever you can do right in your neighborhood. It could be a civic club resolution.
Yeah.
We just need as many as possible about reproductive freedom. Challenge, of course, is that we have a extraordinarily challenging Supreme Court and some of the district courts, appellate, I don't want to go into the whole judicial branch, but you file and file and file and you'll get turned away even earlier now because of our federal circuit courts. And then of course, President-elect who is putting in people who I don't even know if they believe in healthcare, period,
Child.
let alone reproductive freedom. And so federally it is a fight. But let's do what we can on the ground and you're just down the street and help them women there.
Can I ask you, give us a little bit more on the what we can do locally, because I think a lot of people feel defeated. I hear some of the sentiments. They feel like there's nothing more that they can do. How can folks get involved locally, to whether it's volunteering or showing up at city council, whatever it is? How can folks get more involved locally?
Awesome question. Number one, probably a lot of your listeners vote, but I vote in your local elections.
Yes. Yes,
I
please.
want to say that from school board, which is where they started with the book bans and are attacking, sex ed.
Hmm.
That's where people learn about all of these things.
Yes. Yes.
So get get involved at least by voting or paying attention when you can to local elections. And then if whatever your issue is, start at the smallest body possible. It could be your civic club, or it could be the school board and say, what's our policy on teaching about reproductive freedom? Or it
Hmm.
could then go to city council that we want the public health clinics, because they have healthcare clinics usually in cities, to make sure they provide contraception.
Yep.
Whatever that you can do it at those local bodies. You don't have to start in Washington.
Hmm. As a working mom, I have a lot of moms. I'm not a mom yet, but I have a lot of moms that watch this show. But as a working mom, how do you, or what advice, I should say, do you have for other working moms? Obviously, we know everyone's situation is different, but what advice do you have for other working moms who are also trying to juggle and balance demanding careers?
Well, the thing that I've realized is that our children are a little more resilient than we think.
Yeah.
Of course, I ended up being a resilient child.
Mhm.
And now I'm seeing my children, they're twins, they're 9, Ellison and Roy. They always want to shout
Okay.
out. But, I was, I don't know, overly worried, just concerned, obviously, what the impact would be. But I explained the why. And they're supportive. Your children, they're going to vocalize things, and you just show the empathy and make the time you have with them count. Put the phone down. I mean, we made cookies on Sunday, and I just made it count, even though they dropped the egg here and spilled sugar here. And my daughter ate too many cookies, but now have that memory and make the time you have when you're able to carve it out count.
What's something that one of your twins has said that kinda caught you off guard, like, "Now wait a minute. Now I know you know what's going on, but is there something that one of you said they're very vocal, they'll say things, right? Is
Oh,
there
well,
something
my
that one of them has said and you were like, "Now wait a minute."
Well, my daughter is certainly my mother's I thought I birthed my mother when I had her daughter. Another strong, beautiful Black woman, coming up here. So, she was way more tapped into the election, presidential and otherwise, and even the TikTok. So she was like, "It's TikTok." She's trying to get the updates on if TikTok is going to be banned and what is happening with this. She's asking me this every week on the status of
Wow.
TikTok. And yeah, and so you just never know what they're picking up, and so you have to if you have children, nieces, nephews, talk to them ask them, because you'll be surprised of what they have heard about. And you need to give
Mhm.
your perspective or philosophy,
That's
if you're
good.
trying to influence on them. Politics at this level with all the associations and, national organizations, the spotlight, it's a little different. But I will say I've always been for the last 30 years behind the scenes. I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of calls that my mother would take, they wouldn't know I